Creating a frame. Frames are schematic representations of situations which involve participants, props, and other conceptual roles. Let's take a look at a touring frame. A tourist experiences an attraction, a location with a unique history or other societally recognized individual character with the goal of seeing and learning about it. When creating a frame, have in mind that its definition has the purpose of providing a general prototypical description of the event, state, entity, relation, or attribute model in the frame. Usually, the definition makes reference to core frame elements. Remember, every time a frame element is mentioned in the definition, it must be preceded by a hash. Now, let's take a look at the name of the frame. The touring frame refers to an event. In eventive frames, if the frame refers to an action, it ends in ing, such as breathing, waiting, and preserving. If the event is a change of state, the frame name has the becoming X structure, such as becoming detached, becoming dry, and becoming separated. Causative frames, in turn, have the cause X or cause to X structure, such as cause emotion, cause to end, and cause impact. Other events have names such as change position on a scale, self-motion, and intentionally act. In general, the frame name follows patterns related to the type of frame being created. Here are some examples. In frames indicating entities, relations, and attributes, the name features a representative noun or noun phrase. We then have entity frames such as buildings, clothing, and judicial body. Relational frames such as duration relation, guest and host, and simultaneity. And attribute frames such as capability, medical conditions, and position on a scale. For frames modeling states, frame names follow the being X structure, such as being located, being dry, and being employed. However, other frames have names deviating from this pattern, such as activity ready state, posture, and transportation status. If you consider that the frame you're going to create does not follow any of these patterns, you will define your frame without taking them into account. Some frame definitions also play the role of stating a clear difference between the frame being defined and another one that is somehow similar to it. In this case, they include additional sentences pointing to the relevant differences. For example, the giving frame is defined as follows. A donor transfers a theme from a donor to a recipient. This frame includes only actions that are initiated by the donor, the one that starts out owning the theme. Sentences, even metaphorical ones, must meet the following entailments. The donor first has possession of the theme. Following the transfer, the donor no longer has the theme, and the recipient does. Those additional sentences help differentiate the giving frame from others such as borrowing and offering, for example. To choose a frame name, you may correlate the level of generality of the frame name with the diversity of lexical units in it. For instance, the Finnish competition frame can be evoked by tie, win, and lose. Note, therefore, that the frame name does not specify the alternative scenarios in which a competition may end. The name must also be specific enough to distinguish the frame from others. For example, the people by origin and people by vocation frames are subtypes of people frame. In short, naming a frame is all about coherence. The name must be coherent with the root type of the frame, helping indicate whether the frame models an event, a state, a relation, an attribute, or an entity. It must also be coherent with the definition and the core frame elements mentioned in it. Finally, it must correlate with the diversity of LUs evoking the frame.